Almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
I had to give up 3 years of vacation in order to do it.
Taraji P. Henson has joined a long list of black actresses and calling out Oprah Winfrey for lowballing them. But Taj went a step further and revealed she almost walked away from the new Oprah-produced remake of The Color Purple because they tried to pay her scraps. Tage broke down during a recent interview with Oprah's best friend Gayle King and said she's even considering quitting acting for good because she's tired of still being forced to beg for fair pay. And Tage isn't the first one to talk about this either. You probably remember how Monique was demonized after exposing Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels for blackballing her, and they labeled her as difficult just because she refused to do an unpaid movie tour. Fans are now saying it's disgraceful how Oprah, the richest black woman in the world, has never used her voice on prominent projects where black women have complained about pay, but that just goes to show there's no such thing as a good billionaire. But what exactly did Tage reveal about Oprah in The Color Purple? Let's get into it.
It seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired.
Oprah Winfrey, one of the producers of the new The Color Purple adaptation, is once again making headlines for all the wrong reasons after one of the leading actresses in the movie, Taraji P. Henson, spoke out about being unfairly paid and almost walking away from this project. The new The Color Purple remake is produced by Oprah's Harpo Films, Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, SGS Pictures, and Quincy Jones Productions, the same companies that produced the 1985 film adaptation of Alice Walker's Novel, where Oprah played the role of Sophia. In the new adaptation, Sophia is played by Danielle Brooks. Fantasia plays the protagonist, Sally Harris, while Taji stars as Shog Avery. Now you think that someone like Taji, who's a veteran in the industry with over 20 years of experience and countless awards and accolades, wouldn't have to fight to be paid a fair wage, especially in a movie such as The Color Purple with Oprah as the producer. And you'd also think that Oprah, with all the influence she has, would advocate for Taj and other actresses in the movie to get what they deserve, but it turns out Oprah didn't lift a finger to help Tage and others get paid fairly. In fact, according to Tage, their initial offer was disrespectfully low, and they refused to budge until she threatened to walk away from the project. Well, Taji has had enough of having to fight for what's hers, and during a recent conversation with Oprah's BFF Gayle King, she revealed she just might quit acting for good because she's tired of having to fight to be paid fairly now. Gayle tried to make light of this, but Taji wasn't joking, and she explained that black actresses are still underpaid and even veterans like her have to fight for fair pay on every new project they work on. And you could tell Gayle got really uncomfortable because Taraji was there to promote The Color Purple, and Gayle just kept saying she gets what Taji is
I'm coming up behind me, then what am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face.
But Taj didn't stop there. On December 19th, she sat down for an hour-long interview as part of the SAG After Foundation Conversations, and she revealed that she almost walked away from The Color Purple because they tried to pay her scraps. The host praised Taraji for still having the passion and drive to reinvent herself in new projects. But Taraji says it's hard to keep the passion when you're being lowballed and underpaid.
By the body language between her and Oprah.
I can't see a thing. Can anybody see anything?
But as you probably know, Taraji isn't the first one to suggest something like this about Oprah, and it makes sense why she doesn't want to mention Oprah by name, because we all know what happened to Monique back in 2009. Monique publicly claimed that Oprah blackballed her just because she asked to be compensated for a press tour for the movie Precious, produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry and directed by Lee Daniels. After Monique did everything her contract required, Oprah and Tyler asked her to go on a press tour overseas. However, they told her she wouldn't be paid for this. Monique turned them down, and almost instantly headlines started popping up labeling Monique as difficult and hard to work with. And you know that getting labeled as difficult is a kiss of death in Hollywood, especially for a Black woman. Monique's career never fully recovered from this, and she told Hollywood Reporter earlier this year that Oprah still owes her a public apology.
The fight, as a Black woman, we do it with so much grace and get paid half the price of what we're worth. And that becomes difficult. And it's a slap in my face when people go, "Oh, you work all the time." Well, I have to, because the math ain't mathing. So that's why that Benjamin Button story hits so hard, because all I was asking was for $500,000. I wasn't trying to take nothing from Brad Pitt or Kate Blanchett. They deserve to earn what they get because they work their asses off for it. I so too worked my ass off.
To make matters worse, after OA allegedly messed with Monique's career, she still went and exploited Monique's SA trauma for her show. During the filming of Precious, Monique confided in Oprah about being SA'd by her brother Gerald and her parents not believing her, so Oprah decided to invite Gerald to her show. However, she didn't tell Monique she would also invite her parents, and Monique was devastated to see how Oprah exploited her painful experience for ratings. Taraji P. Henson has joined a long list of Black actresses and calling out Oprah Winfrey for lowballing them. But Taj went a step further and revealed she almost walked away from the new Oprah-produced remake of The Color Purple because they tried to pay her scraps. Cage broke down during a recent interview with Oprah's best friend Gayle King and said she's even considering quitting acting for good because she's tired of still being forced to beg for fair pay. And Taj isn't the first one to talk about this either. You probably remember how Monique was demonized after exposing Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels for blackballing her, and they labeled her as difficult just because she refused to do an unpaid movie tour. Fans are now saying it's disgraceful how Oprah, the richest Black woman in the world, has never used her voice on prominent projects where Black women have complained about pay. But that just goes to show there's no such thing as a good billionaire. But what exactly did Taj reveal about Oprah in The Color Purple? Let's get into it.